Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think I have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this? How you cannot go
baby,
in.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in. Come on in. Let me give a shout out to the three people that came in here, said popcorn. We've got Lisa Calhoun, your number one. Your number is 7929857. We got Sanja Watts. Her number is 7929856. And we got Nancy LaRose. Her number is 7929855. You guys better get these tickets. You better get these tickets because you never know what's all going to happen when we get ready to give out that money in July. That's my birthday. So I want everybody to be happy on my birthday. Like, you know, it ain't even going to be about me. It's going to be about y'all. Let me see what's up in the chat that I didn't see. Hello, hello, hello. Good Friday afternoon to you, Lisa Calhoun. Hey, Nancy LaRose. I don't know why I wanted to say LaCruz. That's a spider. Ugh. Tina Powers is in the building. How you doing, Diane Harris? How you doing, Diane? I see you in the house, sweetheart. And we've got the famous. We've got Woke the God in the building. Yay! She said popcorn and C6. Banks is in here. You guys, we're gonna be doing this thing. So, you guys, I wanna let you in on something. I know you guys don't know about this new case coming up. We're going to go ahead and get into it because you know what? It doesn't matter how old a child is, especially if they're under the age of 18. Something happened to them, you know. This child is giving me some vibes. I ran across it and my spirit said, you know what? This is going, we're right at the beginning. Ain't nobody there. Nobody's really even talking about it. But I guarantee you it's going to blow up, and people every from all over the world is going to be looking for this kid. And I'm going to tell you why. Some reason I was looking at this. First, let me share you. It's a child. He's 14 years of age. His name is Brysn. Brysn Muir. Muir. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. He came up missing. And let me share you what's going on. It's in Indianapolis is the area of the crime. They say they don't know where he is. Now, his father is a Colt X player, an NFL player. What you upset about, girlfriend? Come on, what you upset about? So, they issued a silver alert because the child is 14, trying to find where he's at. Now, let me give you a little bit of what's going on, get you up to speed. We're going to be starting to collect information. This is Indianapolis. I thought it was Ohio, but they said Indianapolis. Am I wrong? Is there Indianapolis in Ohio or something? Because I thought this was in Ohio, but they're saying Indianapolis. And yeah. So it's a civil alert has been declared for Brysn. He's described by Indiana State Police as he's 6'2". I will tell you after you present the story. Okay. Great. He's 6'2". He weighs 185 pounds. He's a black male with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen with a black eye. As you see on the thumbnail, you see the black eye. He was last seen wearing an orange shirt. That's the orange Armour shirt and blue jeans. So, you know, when you got Under Armour on, you know that's a designer name brand. I like their stuff. I love their shoes. They're comfortable. I love their clothing. I try to buy it every time I see it. A lot of people don't get it, understand it. I get it. It's comfortability. It is a little bit expensive, but, you know, it is quality, too. I like their stuff. It's not so much everybody's doing, you know, Nike and you know, and Adidas and all that other stuff. I like Under Armour. I really do. I've got shoes. I've got clothing from them, and you can't buy a lot of it, I guarantee you that. But, you know, you can buy, you know, one of this and one of that or whatever. But anyway, the state police say despite Bryson's parents, they were cooperating. They're not cooperating now, but they're cooperating with the police. Danielle is the father, Daniel. The father's name is Daniel, and the mother's name is Christine. Okay, now, this is what they're saying. The parents cooperating with the police. That was before. Danielle and Christine has since backed out of cooperating. They don't want to cooperate anymore. I am going to tell you why this is bothering me a little bit. Out of an agreement they were in an agreement to bring the child in. And when they got to the agreement to bring the child in, because the grandmother... Kudos to grandmother. She's on her job. She's trying to protect this child. She don't know what happened to her grandson. And she just want to know where her grandson is. Hey, Zena, how you doing? Come on in. Come on in. You guys hit that like button and share. You guys are not doing your sharing. So anyway, but nevertheless, so the police continue to search for a missing 14-year-old. And, you know, my grandson, I guess he's 15, but golly, if my grandson came up missing, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I would continue to work at my job because we would need the money. But I mean, every day when I get off work, from the time I'm off work till the time I got to go back to work, hey, you know, you got to do your 3 S's, S, and S. You know, this in the bathroom, that in the bathroom, that in the bathroom. I'm out. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be looking for my grandson. He was last leaving his mother's. No, not his mother. He was last leaving with his mother, but his grandmother's house. So the police continue to search for a missing 14-year-old boy over a week after he disappeared. The child's parents, including a former Indianapolis Colts player, now named as a person of interest. So I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a really hot topic. Other YouTubers are going to jump on this, and we're going to be at the beginning of it. So the former Indianapolis Colts player, now named as a person of interest, as in the early stages of cooperating with the investigators. The Indiana State Police are asking for the public's help in locating Brysn. This is really sad. He was last seen 12 days ago. He may be a victim of abuse by his parents, they're saying. Hey, Miss Dee Dee, how you doing? Brysn is the son of the former Colt defense lineman Daniel Muir, who is now a person of interest. You guys, Brysn was last seen by non-parental family members on June the 16th. That would be his grandmother, after leaving his grandmother's home outside of Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, so that's why he was last seen in Cleveland, Ohio. He left his grandmother's house with his mother, Christina, in a white 2015 Chevrolet Suburban. The child's grandmother reported to the police that the child had a black eye and might be being abused by his parents. Kudos to grandmother. Indiana State Police, Ron, said it was just minutes. Now listen, you guys, it was just minutes between when the son and the mother left the home of the grandmother and when local police pulled over her Suburban. The child was not with the mother. Now, keep in mind, that's the last person that was seen with this child. But I'm going to share with you what's amazing about this story. There's 3 things amazing about this story. One of them is a little personal, and I'm going to share it with you. But however, officers said Brysn was not found inside the car with his mother. She was the last one with the child, just left grandmother's house, and the child was not with her. Now, it was minutes, it said. It wasn't very long period of time whatsoever, they said. When they left grandmother's house, and the child's not with the mom anymore. So this child could be still alive, you guys. Not saying this child is dead. This child could be still alive. But it says, however, in the period of time Brysn wasn't able to be found, we don't know where he went. Now, I'm not understanding why they want this child so bad, but 2 days later, the Case County Department of Child Services asked ISP, that's the Indiana, what would ISP be? Indiana State Patrol, that's or Indiana Service Patrol. I think it's State Patrol or something. Anyway, troopers, they looked into allegations of domestic battery inflicted upon Brysn at the home in Logansport. This was after the department was unable to get a hold of the family. Thank you for liking and sharing, Woke to God. You get an A for today. You get an A. Up until Thursday, June the 27th, that would be yesterday, you guys. June the 27th. Today's the 28th. They said the ISP had been unable to get a hold of the parents, despite going out to the family's home along the 1700 block of West US 24 in Logansport several times. They went out to the home several times. The family wasn't there. Now, Captain Galvis says detectives have made contact with the parents at the property and that they are beginning to cooperate. Now, they started cooperating, I guess, yesterday or today with the investigation. However, Brysn has still yet to be found and no arrest has been made as of 3:30 of yesterday. They have not made no arrest. Now, here's the bad thing about the whole situation, you guys. The Indiana State Police, thank you, Miss Dee Dee. You guys are on it. You guys are on it. So the state police, the Indiana State Police, the ISP, said that the Muir's family, the property is owned by the Severance Leaders Foundation. Okay. Here we're getting into it. It's a non-profit religious group. The Chevy Suburban that was driven by Christina, the mom, Muir, is also owned by the Severance Leaders Foundation. Now, if you know anything, they call this Severance Leader Foundation is allegedly supposed to be a cult. Okay? So, yes, you guys, y'all heard me correctly. It's supposed to be a cult. I know. We be like tripping about these cults and stuff. We be like, they don't even exist or whatever. But I'm going to share something with you. So I did a little snooping already. And thank you, Woke to God. She said the Indiana State Police. So recently, they went to the home to locate off a secluded 2-lane road in the rural Logan Sport and surrounded mostly by trees. A gravel driveway is cut off near the road by a fence marked with multiple no trespassing signs and a private property sign. It says, "Welcome to Goshen." I don't know if y'all know where I'm going, but it's called Straightway Goshen sign is there. Now, here's the thing. Goshen. I used to be a member. Well, I wouldn't say I never was a member. Was I a member? I don't know if I was a member of a Goshen. There was a Goshen church in town. And I went to this church for about 2 years. Okay? The pastor's name, I think his name was Jones also. Yes, his name was Jones. His church just shut down in the middle. I mean, we didn't know. We was like, yeah, we kept going. And one day, next thing I know, we were having church in the community center at the park. And I was like, you know what? I was paying my tithes. I don't know why we here, but I did learn some things from that pastor. I can say, as far as the money part, something was not right, and that's all I could say about it. It was a small group. It was no more than probably 10 or 15 people there. Matter of fact, my youngest daughter got baptized there. So she's actually a member. I didn't get baptized there because I've been baptized 2 or 3 times. If the devil ain't out of me by now, I don't know how to get it out. I done been baptized 2 or 3 times. I'm not getting baptized no more. The devil is a lie. He can't be in me. He do not like me. But anyway, there are no signs outside the home with the name Severance Leader Foundation, but there is one right past the fence that says, "Welcome to Straightway Indiana Goshens." A crest on the sign has an S on the shield with 2 swords forming an X behind the shield. A Google search of Straightway will lead you to Straightway Truth Ministries, a Tennessee-based religious group that some online has labeled it a cult on the Straightway Truth Ministries website. The group states it is a nation of Hebrew Israelites who commandments keepers, obedience to Yah, which is God, and our Savior Jesus, the Christ. So, actually, I'm going to share this with you. She said, sons, you figured it out first. What is up with these coats? Yeah. So Daniel, remember I told you Daniel is the father, right? So he's actually a pastor. I'm just letting you guys know. They ain't gonna tell you this stuff. And he's actually a pastor. And I haven't had time to go over his his preachings yet. But I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be hard, because they walk really close to the word. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like I said, you can sit in there and you can learn from anybody. I mean, there's some truth in everybody's religion. There's a truth in everybody's religion. And you sit there long enough. Sometimes people say you sit in a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. But when you're messing with God's children, he's going to tell you when to come and when to go. And if you don't know when to go, he'll shut it down. He'll show you. But anyway, so there's Straightway official YouTube page featuring a video published 4 months ago of a man appeared to be the former defense tackle Daniel Muir preaching from a stage to a cheering crowd. So the father, like I said, is preaching in this cult. In the video, Mr. Pastor Muir Daniels holds up a picture of himself and fellow former Colts defense end Robert Matthews while discussing a place called Goshen. So they did further investigation, said last week that a silver amber alert has not been issued. That's when it wasn't issued. It's issued now, you guys. I just want you guys to know it's issued now about Bryson's situation, because before it didn't meet the criteria. But here's the criteria. You know who took the child, whether it's the mother, the father, whatever. They just want to know, where is the child? I'm pretty sure they're going to ask the child, how'd you get the black eye? And here's the bad thing. If he's got a black eye or they disciplined him in some kind of way that is not normal to society's rules and regulations, you'll probably get a misdemeanor or whatever, a misdemeanor, a fine or something, have to take some classes or whatever. But right now, they don't even know where this child is at. Okay? That's the bad thing about this whole situation. But Gafson said last week his father Daniel is a person of interest, someone we see. They didn't say nothing about the mama, which she was. Christina was the one that took the child from the grandmother's house. So why is his father Daniel is a person of interest? They say someone we want to speak with. Definitely want to speak with the mother as well. They're giving her as well, So they're thinking, which I'm thinking too, the boy probably didn't get a black eye from the mama. Now, we don't know why the boy got a black eye. We don't know who gave the boy the black eye. But evidently, he must have told grandma who was giving him the black eye. And so when the mama picked him up, she probably took him to the daddy. And I'm just maybe I'm feeling some kind of way because I just seen a video where a boy got his hair cut by his dad. He was trying to grow his dreads and he was making fun of a little boy that had cancer that just went through a whole segment of chemotherapy and lost all his hair. So the little boy, they're kids. He was making fun of him, and he had some big dreads, had blonde tips on the dreads. So the school called his father and told his father about it. So he gets on TikTok. The father does, and they record cutting this boy's hair off, and the boy is screaming bloody murder. And it was just, I was in tears because that's traumatizing. I mean, I know your son is bullying other kids that has a serious problem, and they really, even at that age, they really don't understand. And the boy is just screaming like he grew his hair out. I don't know. I know what dreads mean, you guys. You guys going, hey, his father doing the right thing and da 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 da. Lisa Calhoun said, I seen that. Yeah. And so I'm really in my feelings right now because this boy is screaming bloody murder. He just want his dad to stop. And I've got a 15-year-old grandson, and he done dyed his hair blonde. I don't know why all these black kids want blonde hair. All of them looking like Dennis Rodman. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, I believe something's done happened to this kid. And we're just going to follow this case, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get very compacted with what's going on. But I just think we need to give just a little bit of, some attention to this kid, I don't know. 6'2", 185 pounds. He's a big boy. 6'2". He's taller than my husband. Now, he don't weigh as much as my husband. I think my husband's 2-something. I think he's like 240, 250 or something. He a big boy. So this boy, he's 185 pounds and he's 6'2". It'd be hard to hide him. He's not no little bitty baby you can stick in a suitcase and a box and a bag. He's really a big, tall youngster. But I believe that they're probably holding him at some place, and the state want to know where he's at, because the last time they seen him, he had a big black eye, and I would want to know too. I don't know, this is the thing. We're coming into this new world order, and you don't know who to believe. You just don't anymore. You don't know why the police is getting into family matters and stuff, but you don't know why people are hitting on the kids the way they are. Now, he got a black eye. Now, I'm not saying, to go abuse your kids. I never gave my kids a black eye, but I've had to discipline them in a way that if the state see me discipline them, I tell you what though, I tell you one thing, I bet you they won't do that again. Cause sometimes, and I'm just being honest with you, it's different kids, different strokes for different folks. I had to put the fear of bejesus in my son and in my daughter. They still do what they want to do, but you trying to put them on the right road, and sometimes it just it leaves them traumatized, and sometimes it correct them. You got to know the child, Mine's correct my children, and they'll tell you, shh, I ain't never too old to get a whooping. Mama will whoop me, and I better not hit her. Hit me if you want to. Because one thing you got to remember about your kids highly respect you, and if they hit you or hit you back or something, you've lost your children. You lost them to the street. A child should never raise their hand because you're trying to put them. But if you're beating them and hitting them, giving them black eyes, that's a whole different ball game, you guys. I'm just being honest with you. I've never gave my kids a black eye. Oh, I don't sit there and go, okay, I gotta make sure that I don't leave no marks on them. Hey, they get a whooping, they get a whooping, because I believed in that, and I went to school at the time that I was trying to get my son under control to be a teacher. My teacher was so upset with me. She was like, "There's different kind of ways to discipline a child," and I just know that if my parents gave me a whooping, I guarantee you I was not going to do that again. Whatever I did, I'm not going to do that again. I learned, and you know what? And it did leave me with these memories. I just don't do it again. That, I believe that my parents was doing that to protect me from whatever I was going the wrong direction or getting myself into trouble. They didn't just hit me or spank me or put the belt on me because, my name was this or I looked crazy that day. If I was trying to wear a short dress or a short skirt or something, I was told to go put on something decent. So, you know what? So funny, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I was in school, some kids learn to know when to wear short sleeve shirts or when to wear long sleeve shirts. I didn't know when to wear those things until later on in my teenage years. And the reason behind that is because my mother wanted me to cover myself up. And so I would cover myself. I still cover myself up. But I understand why she say do that. Like when you have people out there and they are looking at you, you don't know that they're looking at you thinking, whatever, looking at your butts, looking at your tits, looking at your legs, looking at your armpit, whatever. And they have these sick minds that they're fantasizing, or whatever. And then next thing you know, you're walking home and they're wanting to look at you walk home. And, kids, they're just going to, run around, play, do a dance or whatever. And then now you got this predator that's following your child. So, to keep things calm down, she always told me to cover yourself up. So I covered myself up for a long time. I really did. And I still do. And I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want all the attention. I can get attention whenever I want attention. I tell you, I know how to get attention. Because, everybody is beauty. Your beauty is inside of you. When you feel beauty or pretty or whatever, you're going to act a certain way. You're going to walk a certain way. It's just like you just got your hair done. Now, when you walk out the house, you're like, hey, yeah, I'm over here. I'm over there. You're going to turn the AC on and you're going to blow that air. You don't want the wind and the windows down and all this other stuff. You step out the car and everything. You making sure your hair is right. You making sure your clothes is right, and whatever. Now, stuff like that. So it all depends on how your parents, raise you. I do believe that this child is in some immediate danger. I do believe that. Because I don't know why the father, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Allegedly, the father must have gave him a black eye. I don't know, I wouldn't believe that the mother balled up her fist and gave this baby a black eye. But for some reason, the mama and the daddy is protecting each other. They have not said where this child is at. And the only thing, normally when the police, and I'm just being honest, I'm not a fan of the police, you guys. I do have people in my family that are, they work in that area, but it's nevertheless, when they are looking for a child, you can call in right now. You can call in right now. Hold on, let me get my phone. When they are looking for a child, 9 times out of 10, they already know something has happened to that child. And so that is why I'm wary. And then, I'm looking at this young thug case, and these kids don't know what they're doing. They're getting themselves into. They're trying to act like they owe allegiance to the street. And they looking at being in jail forever over something, over not even a crime, just being a part of saying that you're part of something. You don't even know what it is, It's crazy to me. They don't have, it's not even a real organization. An organization is like, okay, we're going to do this hit. Organization is, we're making money, we're selling, and, we've got security, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This young thug thing, I'm starting to look at it going, what the heck are these kids are in there? They're older, but they acting like, only thing they are is little, and I see why they say young thug. That's a really good name, young thug. Cause it's nothing but some youngsters. Hey, this is SP.
Hey, SP.
What's going on, Zan?
I'm really angry right now. What about this case? But, and you touched briefly on this case. But do you remember about 3 months ago?
The lady, the drunken woman.
The couple in Florida that had the 2 black kids locked in the garage.
Okay.
And now there is a case in West Virginia in a very racist town, and that comes not from my mouth, comes from the news reporter's mouth.
Uh-huh.
And they have 5 children that they make live in the garage and use them as slaves. And they have gotten several calls from the neighbors, and it took to just last week for CPS to go out there for something totally different. And they still didn't check on the kids, and the complaints about the slavery, so someone called the police, and the police got involved, and now it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But if these are just 2 cases in 2 different states, imagine how many people could be doing this through the foster care system.
Oh yeah. And that's funny you said that, because right in the town that I work in, there was this, and I don't know, I didn't really say nothing about it to you guys, but I think it was just last year. It's this white couple owns this land, and he had this man from Africa. I guess he had this baby. He grew. He stayed with him, and he was his slave. This was 2024, 2023, and he did not know. Only thing that this man knew was he was a slave. He did all the work, and he didn't never let him go to the hospital, the doctor, or anything. And only thing he knew was he was a slave, and this white man owned him. And this was just in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And he did all the work, and he lived on a farm. He did all the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And we're in 2024, and this happened in 2023, where they just saved this man from being a slave right here in my own town.
Think about how many people are probably doing this and we're just not aware. Especially when it comes to the foster care system,
Oh, yeah.
who really doesn't care.
Right.
They just want to place these kids.
Exactly.
Nobody's following up on their kids. People are calling and complaining, and they're not even following up on the complaints.
Right.
According to the news on this particular case, the one in West Virginia, there was no paperwork whatsoever on these children.
Oh, it's in West Virginia?
Yes.
Oh.
The first one was in Florida. Now, this one that they found last week is in West Virginia. There's no paperwork on these cases, on these kids. Each of their files are empty.
Huh. So, I see here it says a white couple accused of. Let me see here. Is it a white couple?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Here we go.
Yet somehow we're still stunned by cases like the one we're bringing you tonight. We begin with a case out of West Virginia. Gene Whitefeather and Donald Lance, a white couple, are accused of treating their 5 adopted children like slaves. We know for sure 3 are black, according to the indictment. Prosecutors say the children were also targeted and adopted because of their race. The pair was arrested last fall. This was after a wellness check turned into a reveal about the living conditions of the children. 2 of the children, 14 and 16 years old, were found living in a barn outside. Neighbors tipped law enforcement off. Deputies discovered there were limited resources in that barn. The teens only had a small porta potty, no running water, or a mattress. According to neighbors, the children were not allowed inside of the home, the main house, and had to do farm labor outside instead. Whitefeather denies the allegations and says the barn was simply a teenage clubhouse. Both Whitefeather and Lance are now behind bars as they wait for a trial to begin September 9th. Joining us to talk about it here on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us parent David.
Okay. Wow. I think.
If these 2 cases came out as
Mm-hmm.
imagine across the country how many more cases there are where people are doing this exact same thing. And the kids don't have to be black. They can be white, purple, green, whatever color. But people are utilizing them for their own benefit. And they're not doing what they are supposed to be doing, which is nurturing the child and helping the child to grow up and be a productive citizen.
Right.
And it just makes me angry that the people that are being paid to make sure that where you place these children are good for them are not doing their job.
Right. So he tried to say it was a teenage clubhouse, but the kids was not allowed to go in the house. They pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. This is what they call human trafficking. And they use the kids as forced labor. Wow. And this is in West Virginia. God.
Now, the thing about the first one, the one in Florida, that happened last year, the parents weren't just parents, they were professors at the University of Florida, at my alma mater.
Right.
And initially, in the big town next act
Right.
like it did not happen. And it took people that were familiar with the school and had seen it, maybe people that had graduated or whatever, that had seen it, that to get in touch with the news, they're in Gainesville, they have this program, like if somebody does something to your car, they fix your car, and it's they like try to scam you.
Yeah.
And this watch thing on the news, they'll go there and have a car fixed and see if they try to scam them, right?
Yeah.
Well, someone got in touch with that news agency, and they're the ones that broke the story and asked the University of Florida, why have they not let go of these professors? And then, and only then, did they have to leave their jobs.
Right.
And you just think, SP, how many other people are doing this to our kids?
Right.
Using it for their own benefit. I feel like if CPS cannot do the job that they were hired to do, they need to start charging these workers.
Yep.
I feel like they're as guilty as the parents.
Yeah. You're right.
Especially when you see the cases like this one in West Virginia where there's no records of the kids. Like, is somebody getting a kickback?
Yeah.
Are they selling these kids on the low? What is going on?
I don't know. Hey, Lisa Taylor, how you doing?
It
I
makes me angry when I see people that are in a good position, well-to-do, let's say, and they're abusing less fortunate children
yeah.
for their own benefit. It makes me angry.
It's gonna get worse, and the funny thing about it is, everybody's looking at this stuff, and there's nothing they can do about it because these kids are up and gone with it.
Yeah. And most of them, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta ask yourself, where were the biological parents of these kids? Well, they said these people in West Virginia adopted them.
Right.
They didn't just foster them, they adopted them. So that reminds me of the West family. That you adopt these kids and then you do what you want.
Yeah.
It just makes me angry, and it's got to be pointed out, and it's got to be spread more to make more people aware so that more people can be angry about it, and possibly we'll get some people that will help to change the system.
Yeah.
Because that's just, it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. But everybody's doing something. It just doesn't even make sense. Like, everybody's doing something. The gangs are doing something, and then you've got things from, we've got an ex-president that has all of these felonies, and he wants to be president again, and then you've got,
He will probably be president again.
yeah,
I don't see anybody else coming against him.
you're right. Nobody wants to. He done scared everybody off.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we're a laughing stock. We were a laughing stock when we put him in office the first time. position to run your country. Because he can run a business now, you let him run a country.
Yeah.
Like other countries they were just really laughing at us.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's nothing we can do about it, though. We can be aware of it, know who we want to, vote for and not vote for. This is what happens when you don't vote.
Right. But also, I believe that the more people that are made aware of it, the better outcome we'll have. So I thank you for even allowing me to get up here and share this story and make more people aware that they can make more people aware. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
Yeah.
Because you're right, this country is just went to pot.
Yeah, it has.
And it's only going to get worse. Just like you said.
You're right. That's crazy.
I don't want to keep you. Thank you for letting me share. I'm going to go back into the chat. All right, ST?
Alrighty.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So she brought up a good point there. It's just not getting better, you guys. And these people are basically adopting these kids. She said a vote. They're basically adopting these kids and they're letting them. And this is why when we look and we were like, first it was like, well, nobody else is adopting these black kids. Da-da-da-da-da. Well, we don't even want our own kids. So, I mean, like, we got them and we love them and we're going to raise them. But to go get more kids, no, we're not going to go get more kids. So people was like, well, these white people are adopting a lot of black kids. And I could say not all of them, but you have to really look at the longevity of what can happen to that black child. And that's one reason why I adopted my niece, because this white woman, she wanted her bad. I'm like, you don't even have, I mean, you got some of your kids, but you ain't got all of your kids. Why don't you go get your kid? Why do you want somebody else's kid? And she was white and her boyfriend is black, and we're friends now, but I mean, I had to fight her. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. And there's 12 people in here. I know this is gonna get back to the person, but I'm only gonna be straight with you guys about, conversation. I'm not gonna say who said it, because it was more than one person that said it. But, we were following the Cody Bixby case. And Cody's this 3-year-old that came up missing but wasn't reported until January 31st of 2022. But he actually came up missing in 2021, allegedly. But so many people jumped on that case. And it always seemed like anytime the news would want to speak about where was this child at, they would always go to Nancy. And Nancy cried and boo-hooed and shed tears. And before this case even got started, some people had came to me and they was like, what is the big deal with Nancy? Like, this white woman, and she just acting like, she's very hurt. behind this child missing. And they was like, there's something more there or whatever or something. And I was like, well, sometimes I don't know if Nancy got mixed kids or not, but I think she does, you guys. But sometimes some people have emotional attachment. It doesn't matter what color or whatever. But some of the people did say, but SP, she just acting like, oh no, like this kid is everything to her. Why is this kid everything to her? Well, I mean, I'm just waiting to see what she gonna do. She talking about she loved this kid so much. I'm just gonna wait to see what she gonna do. SP, she gonna do something. She gonna rob Peter to pay Paul. She gonna steal the money. She gonna defecate on the kid's grave or something. Or she got something to do with it. Something ain't white about the milk. And I was like, y'all just leave her alone, let her be. I just told her, hey, maybe she just, it's the kid. And then, as time goes on, things happen. Money was collected and taken, and then we had excuse, and then we allegedly had an apology or whatever, and everybody come to me and they said, see, I told you. She didn't care. She didn't care about the baby. And yeah. So, it was like almost like a slap in the face. And she gave her reason. She said it was money that she put in there, but you guys, you know what? I mean, you would have found a way. Miss Dee Dee says, I was shocked to find out she was white, but I understood her emotion for children. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't shocked. I knew she was, but there's some people that, I literally, if you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Tina. I literally had to ask Miss Tina one day. We were talking on the phone, and I said, Miss Tina Paz, I said, is you white? She said, yeah, I'm white chocolate, but I'm black on the inside, but I'm white on the outside. I feel her. You see what I'm saying? Some people get that pass because they are... I couldn't tell Tina was white. I done talked to her 15 different times. I couldn't tell she was white. But one time, she couldn't understand the logistics of the feelings of the emotion or something that I was talking about. And then that's when I was like, you don't understand. And, we were just talking. Did it change anything that she was white? No. It just made me understand why she couldn't understand how I felt about something. I even remember what it was. And Tina's in the room. I don't talk about people behind their back. If I say anything to offend anybody, then you was already offended. For real. Because I'm not racist or anything of that nature. And Tina tell you, yep, that was our conversation. She did ask me because I didn't know. I didn't. I done talked to her several times. And her whole lingo was, it was, so being black is not, being, I don't know to say, you don't have to be a certain color to be involved in children that's missing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, your presence will be known if you care about the kids or whatever. Your presence is going to be known, like how you deal or cope or whatever. So I was telling her something like, about the privileges that some white women have, and she couldn't understand it. She was like, I don't see that. And she has African American grandkids, and I'm trying to tell her, even just because you have African American grandchildren, you're not going to feel it because it's not you. But you do know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So if you got a light grandbaby, they're not going to feel the effect more than the darker berry. You guys feel what I'm saying? So then she realized, yes, she has a fear of the grandchild that is darker, that they may get stopped by police and their life might be taken. And so that's the only way that people are going to understand the logistics, that there is a difference. There's a difference when it comes to color. And there is a lot of black kids in the system. And a lot of black families are not going to adopt just black kids. They just don't want to do that. They can have their own. Most of them can have their own, and if they can't have them, they adopt them. And then people was like, we don't want you to adopt them because you're white. And then who's going to adopt them? Nobody's adopting. We don't want you to adopt them because you're gay. We got 2 gay men want to adopt a baby, or because they can't have babies. We don't want to give them to the people that's gay, or all this or whatever. But at the end of the day, people come across, like, whatever color they are. It is sad that there are white people that's adopting black kids, and then once they get them, they're treating them like slaves, and want to act like they done gave them a good life, like this was a toy, or this was their playhouse. Yeah, a toilet, and they can't go in the house, and you got other kids and they can go in the house, but okay. And they're like I said, it's sad. But if we had a good government that had a place for these children, that would put these families under a real assessment before handing them the kids, it would be great. But then nobody would want to go and adopt these kids. So and I'm just being honest with you guys, like, no kids get adopted, or some kids get adopted, and yeah, they might have a bad experience, but some of them live through and have good experience. Look at my daughter. She's living out on her own. She's a manager of fast food place. She's you know what I'm saying? She finished high school. She's never been in trouble. She's living good. She's I got nothing else to give her but a good running start, and she's got a good running start just like everybody else. I don't have a mansion. I don't have these fancy luxurious cars or anything. I just, taught her what I would teach anybody, how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of yourself, how to go to work. Look at me do it. Show you some love, give you some hugs, take you places you never seen. Show that you mean something to somebody. Call her when I need to call her just to say hello. Send her money just to send her some money for lunch or whatever. Let her know that, I may not be there and you may not be here. I was thinking about you today. Here you some lunch money, Whether she calls me back or not, I don't really care. She knows somebody in this world thought about her. And a lot of people just not going to do that. She had people who loved her and enriched her life. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, it could have went south, and I put my whole family in jeopardy bringing in another a person in my family. You know what I'm saying? Here's a kid. Somebody gonna say, you did this to my kid, or you didn't do that, or you took her money, or you treated her different, or somebody touched her and where was you, or blah blah blah. You're going to get so much crap about something that you did not even bring in this world. And some people, and I'm gonna just be honest with you, I didn't want to deal with it. I'm just gonna sit here and tell you guys, I cannot. Do not pat me on the back because I boo-hooed and cried. I did not want to have nothing to do with it. My mother made me do it. My mother told me to do something. Like I said, I'm a very obedient child. Even when I'm an adult, I'm still her child. I try to do what my mother asked me to do. And so that's why I've done it. But in the course of doing it, I did love her. And, because, you don't just fall in love with a child because I already got kids, I already got kids. I know what it takes to raise kids. It takes a lot of time and dedication and money and sacrifice and then you become last. And I didn't want to become last anymore. My kids were getting ready to be grown. But at the end of the day, I did it. And she has a good life. And she can thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? And she thanks me for it. She appreciates everything I done. She loves me. I love her. I don't think our relationship is like me and my biological daughter. But, that's just how life is, My mama used to say that the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Exactly. That's true. And you know what that means? That means that, the darker you are, the more your root is in your DNA. Like, like the master didn't get to your generation, your family, or, you didn't compromise, or your family didn't compromise a lot. So you might have a lot more African enriched tendencies than others. That's what that means. If those of you in the building didn't know. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. The lady that got drunk, that ran over the kids at that birthday party, I got a call, and what was told to me, she was in court. They said that her blood level was like 1.8. It's like 2 times over the limit. She pleaded not guilty and everything else. So things are going off. But I wanted you guys to know about this case. Zan shared with you about these 5 kids. We're going to look at that as we come into this month of July. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it, neutral, because we're getting ready to have our Christmas in July, and I'm excited. You guys, I am finna get off of here. Thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you guys Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time. I'll see you guys then. Have a good evening, and have a good weekend. Bye.